Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Physics. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about the portion kinematics. So we are going to do some numericals related to the previous theory portion. Previous day theory portions, we covered the three equations of motion and distance, how we will be calculating if t is very much t is greater than the t0. What is the given? If we are throwing an object in the upward direction, it will be reaching to the maximum height, right? So till there, distance and displacement will be equal. Then after that, when it start to come back, then the time will be increasing, but we know displacement is decreasing. During that time, what will be, how we can find out the distance? Distance travelled will be equal to u square by 2a plus half into a into t minus t0 the whole square. This is the formula which we need to apply over there. Clear? That's what we explained in the last class. Today we are going to some numericals related to all these equations. Okay, so the first one is a particle is projected vertically upwards. What is the value of acceleration during upward journey, downward journey and its highest point? So if we are throwing an object projected upwards, what is the value of acceleration due to during upward journey? Upward journey also it will be g only, but for as per sign calculation we will be taking it as minus g. It is in the upward direction, and downward direction also it will be g only, and highest point also g only. So the g value will be remaining constant for all the points. Next is a ball is thrown vertically upwards. What quantity remains constant among speed, kinetic energy, velocity and acceleration? Speed will be changing, we know, while we are throwing, it is throwing with the velocity. So some initial velocity will be there when we are throwing it upwards. So when it is reaching to the maximum height, the velocity is equal to 0. So then therefore speed and speed and velocity will be varying. It is not constant. So if speed is varying, obviously kinetic energy, we know kinetic energy when we are moving in the upward, when we are throwing it upwards, as the distance increases, potential energy will be increasing, kinetic energy is decreasing. So kinetic energy also will be varying. And acceleration will be remaining constant. We know it is moving under constant acceleration. So here when we are throwing an object upwards, velocity, speed, kinetic energy, all these quantities will remain constant. Only acceleration will be changing. Next one. A particle is projected vertically upwards with an initial velocity 40 meter per second. Find the displacement and the distance covered in 6 seconds. Take g as 10 meter per second square. So a particle is projected vertically up with an initial velocity of 40 meter per second. Initial velocity is 40 meter per second. Find the displacement and distance covered by the particle in 6 seconds. So how we can find out the time required for the object to reach the maximum height? Then yesterday I told you v is equal to u plus at, therefore t is equal to u by a. You can find out t equals u by a. So yesterday's video, those who didn't watch, for them I am telling it once more. The formula we know, it is v is equal to u plus at. When we are throwing an object in the upward direction, maximum height, final velocity will be equal to 0. Therefore 0 equals u plus at. Therefore t equals u by a we will get, since in the upward direction g will be taken it as negative. So here u by g will be the formula. So it is 4 seconds we will get. Here they asked us to find out the distance and displacement at a distance of after 6 seconds. So distance will be, how we can find out the displacement? Displacement s is equal to ut plus half at square. Ut plus half at square. So here in 6 seconds initial velocity s, here 40 into 4 plus half into acceleration is it's moving in the upward direction, so it is minus 10 into t square as 6 square. So here it is 6 seconds, right? At 6 seconds only it is asked. at t equals 6 seconds. So displacement will be equal to 240 minus this is 36 divided by 218 into minus 10, 180. So we will be getting it as 240 minus 180. The answer is 60 meters. Now we are going to find out the distance traveled. So this is about the displacement. Using the same formula we found out the displacement over here. Now how can we find out the distance? So when I am calculating the distance, see, to reach the maximum height it is taking only 4 seconds. Right? Here they told us to find out the after 6 seconds. So it started traveling in the downward direction. Right? So we should use the formula D equals U square by 2A plus half A into T minus T0 the whole square. U square here it is 40 square divided by 20 plus half into 10 into T 6 minus 4, that is 2 square. Okay, here we will get it as, so here 1600 divided by 20 plus 20. So here 80 plus 10 20 it is 100 meters. So here we are getting the distance as 100 meters and displacement is equal to 60 meters. So to find out the displacement we will be using the same formula, but to find out the distance first we need to calculate the time which is required for this 4 seconds, that is time required for the object to reach to the maximum height. So they are giving a value, we are giving a time value which is greater than the maximum, this time required to reach the maximum height, then we should use this formula. D is equal to U square by 2A plus A by 2 into T minus T0 the whole square. Clear? Then next one. A particle moves rectilinearly with initial velocity U and constant acceleration A. Find the average velocity of the particle in a time interval time t equals 0 to t equals t second of its motion. A particle moves rectilinearly. Rectilinearly means it is moving in a straight line. If it is moving in a straight line, so how can we find out the average velocity? Average velocity will be equal to total distance traveled divided by time. What will be the distance traveled when it is moving in a rectilinear motion, in a straight line motion? S is equal to ut plus half at square. Right? Here initial velocity is given like a particle. U is the initial velocity, A is the acceleration. So here we will get it as ut when it is moving in the yes, it's constant rectilinearly, like that only it is given. It's not given like whether it is moving in the upward direction or downward direction. So we can take it as positive only, ut plus half at square divided by t. Therefore u plus half at. This will be the average velocity. So if the object is moving it is in a rectilinear motion, average velocity will be total distance traveled divided by total time. Total distance traveled we can find out using this formula, because distance and displacement will be same if it is moving in a straight line path. Ut plus half at square divided by t, you will get the answer like this. Okay, clear? Next one. Find the average velocity of the particle when it is released from rest from a height 125 meter over a time interval till it strikes the ground. We should find out the average velocity here. So here we are dropping one object. Find the average velocity of a particle which is released from rest. It is releasing from rest means initial velocity is equal to 0. And acceleration, since it is moving in the downward direction, g equals 10 meter per second square. Okay. Then it is from a height is given like 125 meter. Height is 125 meter over a time interval till it strikes the ground. So it will be having some final velocity also. We should find out the average velocity. Average velocity, since it is moving in the rectilinear motion, since it is moving in a straight line motion, we can find out total distance traveled divided by time. For that we require time for that. So here S is equal to ut plus half at square. Therefore 125 equals 5t square. Therefore t equals 5 seconds. So average velocity will be equals total distance traveled divided by total time, 25 meter per second. Next question is, a particle starts with an initial velocity 2.5 meter per second along the positive x direction and its acceleration uniformly at the rate of 0.5 meter per second square. So the initially which and all are given, particle starts with an initial velocity of 2.5 meter per second. Okay, along the positive x direction and it accelerates uniformly at a rate of 0.5 meter per second square. So acceleration is 0.5 meter per second square. Initial velocity is given like this. Find the distance traveled by it in first 2 seconds. So distance traveled in 2 seconds. So t equals 2 seconds. S is equal to ut plus half at square. The same formula, 2.5 into 2 plus half into 10 into t, 0.5 into t square is 4. So here we will get it as 5 plus 1. So 6 meter we will get. Okay, so this is the direct application of the formula. How much time does it take to reach 7.5 meter per second? So the velocity to reach the final velocity of 7.5 meter per second, how long it will take? So here u is given, acceleration is given, velocity, final velocity is given. V is equal to u plus at. So u, a and v, including all that thing, which formula we can use? We need to find out time. V is equal to u plus at. Therefore 7.5 equals 2.5 plus 0.5 into t. So here it is 5 equals 0.5 t. Therefore t equals 10 seconds. Next one is, how much distance will it cover in reaching the velocity of 7.5 meter per second? So to reach this velocity, how much distance it would have traveled now? So here S is equal to, how can we find out S is equal to ut plus half at square only? 2.5 into, what is the time? 10 plus half at square. A is 0.5. into t square is 100. Therefore 25 plus 50 meter. Okay, clear? This is the just a direct application only. Next question is, a ball is projected vertically upwards with a speed 50 meter per second. So projecting upward with the speed, then it is given initial velocity is given like 50 meter per second. It is moving upwards with an initial velocity. With the velocity means its initial velocity. Find the maximum height. So acceleration will be equal to minus 10 meter per second square. So how we can find out what is the maximum height? Distance traveled. When it is coming to the maximum height, we know velocity will be equal to 0. Okay, so velocity is equal to 0. V square minus u square equals 2as. That is the formula. So in such cases, you can take it as u square equals 2as. Therefore, u square is 50 square equals 2 into 10 into s. Therefore, it is s equals 50 square is 2500 divided by 20. So here 125 meter. Okay, so distance traveled we will get it as 125 meters, and the time to reach the maximum height. How we will find out the time to reach the maximum height? Then we know T is equal to U by A is the formula. Therefore, U is 50, acceleration is 10. Therefore, we will get the answer as 5 seconds. Okay, directly, no need to substitute V equals 0, U, that and all. You can directly apply the formula T is equal to U by A and get the answer. Next, the speed at half of the maximum height. When it is reaching to the half of the maximum height, how can we find out the speed? Speed at the half of maximum height. So since we have found out the maximum height as S here, see 125, so S is equal to new distance will be 125 divided by 2. Okay, and that is distance covered. So here V square minus U square equals 2AS. U is 50 square plus 2 into acceleration is 10 into minus 2 into 10 into 125 by 2. 125 by 2, 2 and 2 will get cancelled, 2500 minus 1250. So here we will get it as 1250. 1250 is 35. V equals 30. Here 40, not like 35, it's really like 35 point something you will be getting. Okay, 1225 is 35, so 35 point something you will be getting it for the velocity, final velocity. Clear? So this is how we will be finding out. These are some of the numericals relating to these equations to make you understand about the concept. Clear? So next we are going to do the differentiation part and when to do differentiation and when to do the integration. So we know that to find out the distance traveled, how we will find out, and displacement, it is how we will be finding out. So delta x. So next is distances, maximum distance travel, length of the path traveled as distance, displacement as the shortest distance between the 2 points, final and initial points is displacement. To find out the velocity, we need to find out the differentiation of, if we are taking the differentiation of the position vector, that is r, dx, if it is moving in the x-axis, dx by dt or dy by dt, that is how we will be finding out the velocity. And to find out the acceleration we know we should find out dv by dt. So to get the from the distance, if we need to find out the velocity, we can do the differentiation. Okay, then from the velocity, if they are telling you to find out the acceleration, you can use the differentiation. So to move from S to V, V to A, we should do differentiation, and in the same way in the reverse order, if we need to, from acceleration, if we need to find out the velocity, we should do integration, and from the velocity, if we need to find out the acceleration, we need to do integration. Okay, for that one day I told you about that how to find out the differentiation. The general formula I will give you, d by dt of x to the power n equals n into x to the power n minus 1. And in integration, integral x to the power n dx will be equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. This is the plus a constant also will be there. So that constant, if we have that limits, we no need to consider the constants, apply the upper limit and lower limit. That one I will tell you how to do. First we will take the differentiation part. Suppose if d by dt of x to the power 6 will be equal to 6 into x to the power 6 minus 1. So 6x to the power 5, and if we need to find out integral x to the power 3 dx from 0 to 1, integral 0 to 1 x cube dx, if they are telling you to find out x to the power 3 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1, and along with that you should apply the limits 0 to 1. Then first apply the upper limit minus, then apply the lower limit. So when we are applying the upper limit first, to which value it was changing? X value was changing, right? So this upper limit should be applied to the x value. So 1 to the power 4 divided by 4 minus lower limit 0 to the power 4 divided by 4. So the final answer will be 1 by 4. Okay, so this integration, once more I will tell you. See, integral x square dx, integral 2 to minus 3. Suppose if it is like this, then if the value is changed, x is varying from 2 to minus 3. The function is x square dx. In such cases, how we can first, we should find out what is integral x square dx. Integral x square dx is x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Then apply upper limit and lower limit. First apply the upper limit for the x value. X value was changing over here, right? So first apply the x value minus 3 cube divided by 3 minus, then apply the lower limit 2 cube divided by 3. So here you will get it as 9 minus 8 by 3. Okay, so here you can find out the final answer in this way. Okay, clear children? So this is how we will be doing the integration and differentiation. So relating to that, the rest of the numericals we will be doing in the next session. So I hope today's video is useful for you, and if you like the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. And one more thing, in last video one child asked me about the H.C. Verma's textbook numericals. First, since as a startup, I thought I'll start from the level 1 questions only. So this will be easier. Once you are done with this one, we can go for the next level. H.C. Verma's book, solutions we will be solving after covering all these portions. Okay dears, so I hope it is clear for you. That's all for today. Thank you.